What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 3, Unrefined Ideas. Today we're going to talk about LGBT freedoms being challenged in North Carolina and Georgia.
The heinous attacks in Brussels.
And we're going to talk about Anonymous v. Trump.
Oh,
so,
juicy.
let's do it.
Let's get it on.
Let's do it. What's up, guys? My name is Nick Hine. Welcome to the third episode of Unrefined Ideas. I'm here with my really, really good friend, Mr. Wade Britt.
Hi, guys. How you doing out there?
Today we're going to talk about a few things. We're going to try and keep the episode a little bit short.
Yep.
We're going to just jump right into the LGBT freedoms that have kind of been destroyed a bit, at least in, by heart, in North Carolina and Georgia.
Yeah, and you know, it really hits home with the LGBT community. They're basically saying, you know, you can be refused service. No, nobody has to hire you. You have no rights. You know, we're back to the old school. We're doing it the way we wanted to do it originally.
Right. It's given basically, what is it? Businesses the right to refuse services. And
yes, say at an Applebee's, if a transgender goes into the restaurant, they have the right to refuse service to this person.
Seems to be mostly focused on
transgender. It wasn't as biased, and it had a lot to do with bathroom rights. And that was in North Carolina. They talked a lot about the bathroom rights, and that was the one thing that I think caught me off guard. I think I get where they're going with it. But, I've always kind of known, hey, when you're in a public park bathroom, freaky shit goes on in there.
Yeah,
whatever happens in the glory hole at the weird playground that you're not supposed to go into. I mean, as long as it's not that type of I think if you're in a Denny's, we're not going to have problems. People are inappropriate everywhere, but I think we can trust most of our transgender fellow people to be kind enough or responsible enough to, go about things in their manner. They're not, they're not going to flaunt it. I don't think they're not maliciously doing this to anybody.
Well, I mean, when it comes down to it, you're talking about who a person is, and that's who they are. That's who they are, and you can't discriminate against that because people are who they are. Yeah. And if you're going to say the same thing, you could not necessarily discriminate against businessmen, but you could use the same argument against having businessmen in certain positions. You know what I mean? There's discrimination. It's a two-way street.
Oh, and it really is. Yeah, and I mean, it's archaic. It's 2016. We're talking about this. It seems archaic.
It's nuts that it really is. There's so much weird shit happening in the world right now, man. I think people are kind of taking all this stuff and just running in weird directions with it.
Yeah, I mean, and I think, with this whole, everybody has a right to be themselves. Everybody has a right to be exactly the person they want to be. I'm a crazy nut. I reserve that right.
Right.
I don't think I'm completely sane, and I don't think all my opinions are completely sane. You know what I mean? I shouldn't be let out in public. Yeah, right. But I guess all I'm saying is be free to be who you are. That's American.
Be exactly who you want to be.
Be who you want to be. And love yourself, man. And this is basically them saying, we don't love you. We don't want you.
We don't want you to love.
We don't want you, and we don't want you to love yourself. And I think that's
it's fucked up.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It's fucked up.
But like we were saying, North Carolina kind of has the shit end of the stick. Georgia has a much better. I say shit end.
Yeah, because Georgia. I mean, think
they've got the film commission.
The film commission walks. Disney's already talking about walking.
AMC,
Walking Dead, gone. That, my friends, I don't think they're going to turn away that money.
But that's where they film everything that's in The Walking Dead. The core show is filmed in
Georgia. There's got to be like 40, 50 movies probably shooting there all the time. It's the new New Orleans. It's the new tax credit. It's Georgia.
They
it's where they shoot.
Really good tax incentives for a big budget film.
Yeah, for a big budget film. Right. And so
they're
vehemently like, no,
that's not passing.
They're like, how are you going to tell actors who might be even transgender, that you can't come into this state and you can be denied service? It gets back to the counter where you deny an African American service. this is civil rights. This
right.
is civil rights. It's just civil rights. And they're trying to infringe on people's civil rights in North Carolina and Georgia, and it's come down to the governor's decision. And this is how far up it's gotten in the chain. So I think that gives you an idea of what these elected official legislations have decided on their own. And they've decided to let this bill carry all the way to the governor. So this is something that I think it's concerning because both states, it's the governors. Let's see, it's
Deal,
and, Nathan Deal in Georgia. Now, I'm going to say with all the film, the film commission, everything that is definitely, they're already, even Disney. I mean, Disney's like, they're like God. They say they're leaving. You got to listen. That's a lot of, it's an influx of cash.
That is a lot of money.
That is a lot of money. And, you can't have that rhetoric anymore.
AMC is one of the top-rated TV
Walking
shows.
Fucking Dead, an obsession. I love.
And that's another thing about that AMC specifically is that they talk about, in the Talking Dead and all their post-production, pre-production, behind-the-scenes stuff. They talk about the amazingness that it is to use Georgia as a backdrop and what they offer as a film commission.
Beautiful. I mean, just looking at all the scenic from the rural to the cityscapes.
I mean, you're talking about places they can go from Georgia looking to DC. Areas.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that's really good. It's a shame that all this is happening, man. But I don't think Georgia has necessarily anything to worry about as far as the LGBT community.
I hope their outdated ideas stay outdated, and I hope Governor Nathan Deal vetoes it.
Yeah,
and in North Carolina, I hope Governor McCrory vetoes it because they're the end of the buck. That's where the buck stops. But in North Carolina, you don't have. See, these types of legislation, if not talked about, can go unnoticed, and then it can just be right into the population. So I guess that's why we're really talking about it, because in North Carolina, you don't have Disney, you don't have AMC saying we're going to leave. Nobody's leaving.
Right.
The big corporations aren't stacking up.
Right.
Now in Georgia, you have, everybody from Richard Branson saying whatever. I don't know what he has a stake in there, but he's got a stake in something.
Well, yeah, they're talking about, and not just the film commission, about leaving,
large businesses like
businesses.
Dell and the heads of Dell and other large businesses.
And they're talking about a potential very large
like
loss.
an upheaval of the monetary system in Georgia if they put this.
So you're talking about jobs and everything.
Jobs and everything.
More than just that one thing. I mean, jobs are still kind of at stake in general with the whole thing, even the bill itself.
Right.
So. I mean, it's kind of something's going to happen, but either way, I don't think Georgia's, like I said, I don't think they have anything
Georgia
to worry about necessarily.
Has anything to worry about. And
Carolina,
but like we said,
possibly.
I think we're both in agreement, though, that the fact that it even had to get to this level, it is kind of not a slap in the face. It's just, it shows me where other people in society, where they're thinking, where their views are. And I guess in this world, I want to wish that everybody's progressive and that everybody loves everybody else. But this is obviously not the case.
No, man, and we've seen it not just with this type of discrimination, but with other things. Like we've seen really, really just just insanely, just over the top.
Yeah.
Like racism.
Well, the Trump rally, white man striking, he may have been flicking them off. We already talked about it, but I've been seeing, I feel like my country's getting divided, and I don't even know what's going on. And when you have the whole Obama administration was pretty much blackballed, and the tan man had
guys, it's
Boehner.
Not time for us to spread. It's time for us to come together. Like
we need to unify as a country, and we need to be a little bit more accepting as Americans.
We definitely do.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about the whole immigration thing, but that's kind of more in the Brussels talk.
Yeah, that's more in the Brussels talk, which we should probably go ahead and talk about, because I think we both stand that, listen, give everybody their innate rights to be who they are. And I'm sure you agree with me, right?
I agree 100%. I mean, the same thing with the LGBT stuff.
Yeah.
I think that... okay, well, new topic, guys. We're going to go into the Brussels thing.
We're
just going to go straight into
which is very scary, and it was very divisive when I saw that they captured the guy in France, and there was talk of Belgium. Did he have plans in Belgium? And then the Belgium attack happened, and it just clicks in your head. These are small cells. They've been implanted and imprinted into the culture. They're telling them to, go out and live like you're just and they're veiling, they're keeping their secrecy very well.
My big, massive problem with this entire Brussels thing, obviously the terrorist attack thing just in itself, that's messed up. That shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, mass death, it's no fun.
On top of that, we're in a weird place as Americans, as United States citizens, with the election and with everything that's going on, that people are going to use this in very, very fucked up ways.
Well, like Trump has already, and this is getting into
Trump has already been talking about
why the hell do we have to talk about this guy every time? Because we have to, because this is...
I mean, he takes things to that next level. Yeah. Every time something happens, it's always Trump brings it up into this next just insane area.
But, and like I said last time, it's for the media. It's pomp. It's puff.
It is.
It's fluff.
Dude,
but
guess what happens?
He is so effective at his fluff.
Guess what happens when the media focuses on stuff like this? It scares people. And people that are afraid do crazy things, like
desperate
support
times
Trump.
And desperate measures. And
I mean, he's talking...
Desperate people.
Everything that he talks about, the reason why he's so big is because people are afraid. I mean, he even says it himself. He's always like, people are afraid. They want something to hold on to, and he's milking it, dude. He's milking it, and he's gonna milk the same he's gonna milk it all out of Brussels. Like, all this same thing is gonna happen.
He really is, and I really hope that he's not. And he's even talking about going. He's talking about severing NATO ties. And when you start talking about severing NATO ties, I start to think of like, what are you gonna try? We're talking like North Korea doesn't do anything NATO tells them to do.
Right.
Are we trying to be the next North Korea? Because he's basically talking about a totalitarian government that would be, like Anonymous says, the Fourth Reich, which is another topic. But
let's stay on the Brussels.
We're going to stay on the Brussels.
We're going to stay on Brussels.
We're going to stay on Brussels. The, basically getting back to what Trump was saying about Brussels and how he was like, how would you handle a terror attack like this? And he just smoothed his way through that part. Wasn't really giving any information. But when it came to, do I want them in my country? He immediately turned to the, no, Islamic terrorists. I don't want any of them.
Right. It's the same thing, man. Like, Trump is the master at one thing.
Yeah.
He's fantastic at one thing, and that one thing is blanket statements. Like, he's really good about talking about something while talking about nothing at the exact same time.
Yes. I mean, and he'll have like a point and then none.
That's whatsoever. Like, he may say one thing, and I wonder if it's like somebody in the background like, hey, Trump, like, don't forget to say this one thing. And then just,
it'll make you sound smart.
Right. It's like the old school campaign tactic where it's like, war, America, God, love your country.
Love your country.
The Will Ferrell movie and all election or whatever.
Yeah.
It's scary, man. But that's my worst fear with this whole Brussels thing, is that people will take that as a blanket statement, because it's not the Muslim community that's doing this. It's individuals from the Muslim community. And that's much bigger than just one place.
Well, I'm getting back to, like, I'm scared all right, here's my fear of a Trump presidency. Internment camps for Japanese, that was totally kosher here in America during World War II. I feel Trump's the type of man that would try and pull some tactics like that if he got into office, and literally try and take society, flex it the way he wanted to. And I mean, you've got to think his media influence. He understands how to control. He would understand how to make us the most downtrodden nation, I think.
It was like that. It was kind of like that. Oh, this is really random, but that article that we read about Keith Richards.
Yes.
And the Rolling Stones. They did something for Trump Plaza or some shit. They were sponsored.
Oh, yes.
And they explicitly in their contract said that they would play the show, but that Trump could have no part of the advertisement other than his name on the tickets. You know
exactly.
What I mean? That he couldn't have a press conference about it or anything, and then the day of the show, he held a press conference and he was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. And so the Rolling Stones manager was like, hey, you wrote in your contract that you said you weren't going to do this, but here you are doing this. And I went back to Keith Richards, and Keith Richards was like, tell him I'll fucking kill him. Like, I'll stab him with a knife.
Am I gonna
have to go
the
fucking
Trump
stab
Keith
him with
Richards
a
knife fight? Oh my God, I can't.
Yeah.
I would have been front row for that one.
That just shows.
I wish I was born for that one.
But yeah, the Brussels, man, really fucking sad. I think it was 31 dead and something like 200 injured it's sad anytime something like that happens.
The only thing that I can relate, and I didn't even mean to cut you off, but the only thing I can relate what Trump is, where Trump might be a little right, is if you look at who's been able to get in and do it, but it's not just the Syrian refugees, it's people that have already been there that have been radicalized. So we're getting into a psi warfare kind of event now, which in a way, and Trump worries me to the point where he will do anything to get what he wants. So I think if we think that the Patriot Act was laughable and very scary, and it is very scary, what could be next in a Trump presidency? Sure. And that's all I ask, and that's all I'm really going to say. I think for Trump now, we can go ahead and tie that one up.
Well, no, we've still got more to talk about Trump.
You're right, because we've got the
basically to sum it up, just in a nutshell, Brussels, worst fucking thing ever, and I hope that it doesn't continue to happen. I hope it's not a thing that just keeps going and going.
Well, and I'm afraid, I am a little afraid that they're going to continue to do these rogue attacks. And where I was going with what I was saying earlier was, it's easier in Europe. If you think about it, they can get through Turkey, and a lot of these people, Europe is connected a little bit easier. We're more of a ports. Yeah. I'm not saying that we can't be hit, but and it's not even people coming in. It's literally the mind influence.
Right.
But most of these kids have gone to Syria and trained with ISIS, so they know what they're doing. Then
right.
They're operatives. So let's be honest, they're like sleeper cells, and until those are so hard to crush. I mean, and you've got to understand that these are people that don't exactly have human life in interest. They, like Trump says, I hate talking like him, but they drown them in cages. They like roast people alive. Yeah, man, they behead people. Stuff. So these are a very irrational folk.
But we don't need to become them. We don't need.
No.
We need to promote peace and promote togetherness. That's what needs to happen.
Oh, completely.
So let's jump into a new topic. Move on from the Brussels stuff.
Okay.
Because basically, honestly, it's just terrible stuff, and it's terrible that it's being used in a weird way by Trump. But it kind of leads into our next discussion, which is
it's basically anonymous versus Trump. I mean, it's not that old. It's new, but they've been talking about it for a while. But they released his social security number. I mean, they're gunning for him. They had all his personal information.
There were 2 phases, and now they're on to phase 2, which is the Operation White Rose or something?
Yes, Operation White Rose Society.
Actually, we've got we can play these videos because they're not copywritten. Yeah. So what we're gonna do right now is just kind of show you the videos, and
they're creepy, and he's hitting home on what he wants to deliver. He's kind of telling you what the Trump objective is. So, I mean,
right. Well, I'm not saying that I support anonymous 100%, but I do think that at a certain point, there's only so much that we as just normal citizens can do about something.
Legally, and even though they hack.
Honestly, social media does a really good job of kind of explaining or just shining some light on current situations, because people can share videos really, really easily. Yeah. But it really takes a collective sometimes. And actually what Anonymous asks in the first video, phase 1, is that everybody, not just people that are part of Anonymous, but that everybody share, spread the message, Yeah. And which is one of the main reasons why I wanted to show the video, at least the first one, in full, and bits and pieces of the second one. So, guys, let's check these out real fast, and then bring you back and we'll talk about them.
Sounds good.
All right, so that was it. I mean, that was pretty much what they're asking.
He's gunning. They're gunning for him. They want to gut him, and and I like that they kind of like laughed at the FBI and Secret Service, and they're like,
in that second
we're
video,
anonymous, man. Like it,
they called it a giant social experiment, saying like this was just basically like a like you're gonna follow suit, and you're gonna be part of it, be part of the problem rather than the solution.
Yeah.
So
it's just such good fodder for talk, and it really, man, I love the angle they take with him too, though. I mean, it's just like why be? You're anonymous. You just be brutal and just be like, this is what's up. Not gonna let it happen. Don't want it to happen.
Right, and it's another.
This is what we know about you.
Right, another thing that they were talking about. They the FBI being upset about it. I get it. They're a hacktivist group. They hack email accounts. They want protest. They want anarchy in a way, but they want it kind of in the best way that it could be, which is about as good as it could be is for a hacktivist group. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. But
I think it's a revolution of a technological age because, I mean, the time of sit-ins,
all this
we
stuff
saw
is out
what
there.
happened. But we saw what happened. Like, yes, sitting on Wall Street did something and it made us all feel something. But what did it really do to Wall Street? We have strengthened Wall Street since we had those sit-ins. So what they're actually doing, and again, like you said, I'm not fully supporting them, but in a way I'm kind of like, you know what? There needs to be a moderator. There really needs to be a moderator because, when when government and injustice are completely hand in hand, you've got to do something. I'm not saying completely illegal, completely insane. I'm not saying defile your government. I'm not even saying a treasonous act.
Just be in the know, man. Like just want to be educated on certain things and don't just kind of follow suit with people because
don't believe what you see on CNN or any of the bot networks. But then
they're all, like Haley said, they're all green. They're all green companies.
They're
paid
after the
by
money, man.
They get the money.
Yeah, they're after the money. So, and you look where the money is. It's in Trump's pocket.
Yeah.
And
I mean, think about how much money he probably donates to those companies.
Oh,
or just
yeah. Wow. He's just like, oh, here's some money. Yeah,
hey, here's $200. Just take it by yourself.
That's $20,000 for. Hey, I just $20,000.
So yeah, man, I'm for it. I think anything that we can do as individuals to just kind of stop the craziness that's happening right now, we should do because it's absolute just insanity that we are even on the verge of having President Trump as a serious possibility. And if it takes Anonymous to do it, then let's do it,
And I feel that way too.
All this information is out there.
And a lot of conservatives feel the same way. They don't want him to be in there. They don't want him to be their GOP frontrunner.
Right, but they're
know what I mean? Like they're like, we really don't want this dude.
They're kind of stuck. Like they don't really have a choice.
You're fucked. You're on a boat with the man you chose from the beginning. But I feel, what I really feel though? This is more of the this is where Sarah Palin went wrong. She tried to get on the topics and couldn't schmooze her way through it.
Sarah Palin was retarded.
She's a fucking train wreck. She is a retarded train wreck.
She is not somebody that...
Dude,
but it's the same thing. Like, Trump is the new Palin.
Trump is the new Palin, but guess what? People are eating it up.
Absolutely
like fucking
eating it up.
Ding-dongs, man. They're like, this is great.
Yeah,
give me some more.
But like I said, it's because they're afraid.
We are the Romans. I say that in only the most amazing way. And, this is why I talked about, UFC and stuff. It's like, we are the Romans. We live to see blood. We live to see chaos. It's almost like we wouldn't be happy if we weren't in upheaval most of the time.
Modern film is a great example of that. I mean, you can watch the progression of just stylistically the way that they shot stuff.
Yeah,
it was very straightforward, very static, cammy, very less angles, more just like proper, prim and proper. And now we're all guerrilla. Everything is all shaky cam. Everything is all. Obviously except for news and stuff that's stationary, but most movies nowadays are very, very gritty and raw and like fucking Deadpool.
Well, then you got hardcore Henry coming up, dude. That looks fucking crazy, man. Where it's all like a first-person shooter movie, and I mean, this is where I'm starting to see the collective of everything coming together. And I've always known.
Is it video games?
Well, no, it's not.
Video games the blame?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you. Video games, they make more in revenue than movies now. And I think what I fear is, all right, give us 20 years, because we've still got a lot of VR systems out right now, that haven't come out. But give it like 20 fucking years, man, and we're going to, we're on YouTube now. This is pretty revolutionary. This could be the new television. This could be what you want. This could be what you subscribe to. This could be channeled into your car via satellite radio. And it can be, everything in this world, things are different now.
Yeah, things are very, very different. And Anonymous really does a good job of just kind of showing everybody that is the fact, because like I was saying, everything's out there. You can get any information on anybody, and sometimes it costs money, sometimes it's free, sometimes you can people just let it out. But
then again, I mean, and this isn't me saying like, oh, Patriot Snowden and people like that, but sometimes the books need to be balanced, and the American people need to know the truth, and we'll never know the true truth. Yeah. We're never gonna know. Yeah, no. But getting insights is nice. And it's unfortunate that they're considered illegal acts, and they are, and I don't condone that in any way. But
it's only illegal to a certain degree, like they were saying in the second video. It's like
he was laughing about how
everything's out there,
public domain. Yeah, he was like, "Well, it's already there, bud."
We're just bringing stuff from the past to the present, exposing things that have been buried and bringing them to light, and that's something that needs to happen. I mean, people really need to see that Trump didn't make his money being a good investor. That wasn't the case. He's not a good businessman. His dad was a fucking businessman.
It was Fred Trump, amazing businessman, and left him with a great legacy. Yeah, he doesn't have to do shit,
and he is day by day destroying his
name. Well, Mike Judge, all the props in the world to you, because you saw it in Idiocracy, one of my favorite movies. And I feel like this is the beginning.
There's an article going around about that on the internet.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm so out of touch, people. I tell you, I don't have an Instagram. I don't have a Facebook. I don't do it.
Yeah, man, they're talking about it. People are actually kind of knocking Mike Judge about it a little bit, but I think he was fucking
Don't knock him. He told you what was going to happen.
We're
going to be baiting and eating weird cheese out of a tub while hydrating our stuff
pooping.
Because
everything's self-contained. Pooping in a lazy boy.
Oh my God, it's got electrolytes.
Shopping at Costco.
There you are.
But yeah,
that's where the time machine is.
I'm with Anonymous, man. I'm with him. I think that it's time for the people that aren't in the know to be in the know.
Checks and balances are needed in every good government system, and it's quasi-patriotic what they're doing, and I agree with it. And that's all I'm really going to say about it. As long as it's not malicious,
right? As
long
as
it doesn't shut down our government,
right?
Because I'm an American citizen, I love my government.
As long as it doesn't escalate too much.
Yeah,
I think it can be something that's very, very good.
Exactly. Because I mean, I don't want to sit here and just rattle on about how I'm, going to be the next communist revolution over here.
Right.
Not gonna happen.
Well, guys, actually, that's probably going to be it for us in this episode. We've really kind of talked.
Well, hold on. I've got one funny thing for this episode.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Katt Williams, man. Man, your people need to help you out, bro, because he was in this video and this shit is viral. Look it up. A little kid chokes his ass out. He punched him first, though. Katt Williams punches what looks like a 13-year-old. But he's in the deep hood, man. He's stupid as fuck for doing what he did. First off, he's lucky he didn't get jumped to death. Because straight up, there are so many kids out there, there's so many young thugs, they would have beat the shit out of that man. Yeah. They would have they did put the boots to him, but the kid was cool. He put him in a submission. He had him in a chokehold submission.
Yeah. He didn't beat the hell out of him.
He didn't stomp him, and he just recently got stomped at the Beanie Siegel party. Yeah. So it's been rough, man. I hope.
What's wrong with him, dude?
Man, crack is a hell of a drug, bro.
That cocaine.
Well, really crack, man. I think his people need to help him on that. Please help your brother Katt, man, because Katt is strung out, bro. Like, why would you be punching a 14-year-old in the face? I understand it looked like a confrontational situation, but you probably capped on his shoes or something. Let's be honest.
Right. I mean, he could have done anything. He could have just been a Katt Williams. And
I mean, he just decked him in the face and then got it turned completely around on.
I watching that video. I can't believe that none of his like posse. Where was his like?
He ain't got a posse.
Shit. How come no one like came up to help him?
What posse?
What line was he standing in? What was he doing? He was just like standing around, like
with
what's happening
with his undone hair.
Is he okay? Is he like?
I know he's really not okay though, and that's why I'm like, take care of Katt Williams. If you have people, that's why there were no people there. You say, don't he have an entourage? I'm like, I don't know if he does anymore, man. Like, he's been going. Everybody's kind of dipped out because he does crazy shit like that. I saw a video of him just hitting a random boy in the head at Target from one of the wheelie baskets.
What?
Yeah, he was in one of their Target. He just went slapped a kid in the head. And so this is the only reason why I want to talk about Katt. Katt, you need help, brother. You need help. So we're gonna end up Unrefined Ideas on Katt. Stop smoking crack. And you need help.
Crack. You need help, Katt Williams.
Crack is whack.
So yeah, that's gonna be it, guys.
That's it. Third episode in the hole. Get ready for number 4. Please subscribe with us, please.
Yeah. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us the thumbs up. Get the like button going. And,
I like getting likes, and views are good too.
Views are really good, but subscribe to us because every time you subscribe, you get up-to-date information on content that's going to be coming out from our channel, and there's going to hopefully be a lot of content coming up soon.
We're going to be doing a lot of work.
Unrefined Ideas is kind of just the groundbreaking of the Station 8 page, and we're hoping to have more content out to you guys daily.
Tip of the iceberg.
So yeah, guys, again, like, favorite, subscribe.
Please.
My name is Nick Hine.
I'm Wade Britt.
And this has been
Unrefined Ideas.